It's time to see the biggest mammals on the planet. We'll take you up close. And if you're looking for a fresh and healthy choice for lunch, we have a new restaurant for you. And Congressman Ted Lieu spent time talking to residents in our community. It's the height of whale watching season, and blue whales have been spotted in record numbers. Our station manager, Mark J. Dottie, went out on a charter to get up close and personal with these magnificent animals.
This is great. We're here with one of our Palos Verdes residents who actually lives right off the Portuguese Bend. And you also own the boat that we're going to go out on, right?
Yes, I'm the president of Harbor Breeze Cruises, and I'm happy to have you guys out this morning. We're going to take you out on our newest boat, the Triumphant.
Give me some trade secrets. How do you track the dolphins or blue whales? How are you able to find them?
I think some of our advantage is that I live right on Portuguese Bend. So I'm real close to the Point Vicente Interpretive Center. Palos Verdes Peninsula has such a sharp drop-off, about a mile and a half right off the coast, that it provides a nice habitat for the whales to feed right in that area. So once you kind of figure out the contour of the bottom and just a few of the characteristics of the whale, it's not that hard to track them after a while.
We just saw something pretty cool. What did we just see out on the water?
We just saw a blue whale, so we're right at the beginning of blue whale season, and so we're out off of Long Beach a few miles, and we've already had our first sighting of a pretty decent sized whale.
And what is the kind of your average sighting day? What do you usually see if it's a good day?
Every day is totally different. We're happy if we see any whales, just because you never know. It's the wild out here. It's really up to them. But we've seen, like recently, just yesterday, they had a breaching humpback, a minke. We've had Brutus whales in the area, blue whales, fin whales. So there's a lot of wildlife out here, plus a plethora of dolphins.
Fluking is common, especially when they take a deep dive. You won't necessarily see a blue whale breach. But you will see them put on a display, with a big blow, and then you'll see the dorsal fin and then arch their back and their fluke, which is really kind of amazing when you figure that these animals are 80, 85, 89 feet long.
What did you think about today's trip, Milo?
It was awesome.
What did you see out there?
Some whales, dolphins, and maybe a seal.
What did you think of the whale?
It was pretty cool and it was big.
Jake, what did you think of today's trip?
It was really cool, better than the other whale watching trips we've gone on.
Oh, really? Oh, where else have you gone?
Dana Point.
Yeah, Dana Point and mainly Dana Point.
And so you got to see, did you see whales on those other trips too?
Yeah, but none as close as this one.
Wow, yeah, you were right on top of that blue whale, huh? How big do you think this one was?
Bigger than the boat.
What did you just see out on the water?
I saw a blue whale that was amazing. Wow. He almost actually did the tail up.
What do you think about the size of the blue whale?
Probably about 30 or 40 feet long.
Are you really interested in the oceans? Can you tell me about that?
Yes, I am really interested. Because whales, I have a lot of experience about the ocean. I actually want to work at the Pacific Aquarium one day.
So as normal citizens on the Palos Verdes Peninsula, what's something they can participate in when someone has a great view and they're seeing a whale?
Well, we would love to have citizens participate in science. The buzzword now is called citizen science. But researchers like myself and my colleagues, we're not out on the water every day. And if people have a great view and are out on the water every day and can see a whale and they want to report that to us, that would be great. Because we need that type of information so that we know where these whales are at all times. And so we have email set up for people to report their sightings, pictures. We're happy to talk to people if they're interested in doing that. And the email is whales@noaa.gov. That's WHALES at NOAA.gov.
The Bay Foundation works to monitor the water quality of marine life off of the peninsula. They also conduct a majority of their research off of the Palos Verdes Peninsula. Recently, our PB had a chance to catch up with the foundation at the Point Vicente Interpretive Center. Here's more with Mark J. Dottie.
We're here with Tom Ford, and we have this great background of this kelp behind us. And you're with a group that used to be called the Santa Monica Bay Foundation, but this is a local story. So tell me what the actual name of your company is now.
The actual name of our organization is the Bay Foundation, and we're dedicated to promoting the environment as well as protecting those socioeconomic values that we see along our coast. And that expands from here in Palos Verdes all the way up through Malibu to the county line.
So recently, you guys got a great recognition from the LA Business Journal. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
It was a nonprofit award for collaboration given to us by the LA Business Journal.
But it's not a perfect world right now, right? What's going on our coast with the kelp forest that's keeping the numbers low, I guess?
Sure. So the unfortunate tale is that we've lost a great deal of the kelp off of Palos Verdes, roughly 75% in the past 100 years. Most of that loss happening in the post-World War II era. So as we came and the population boomed here in Southern California, our pollution and all of that contributed to this decline. But the real crux of the issue is the loss of predators in our ocean system. We lost the sea otters by the 1850s. Our spiny lobsters and one of our fishes called the sheephead actually prey on sea urchins, the little spiny guys that live on the rocks. And we have lost those predators, and therefore we have way too many urchins, and those urchins eat the kelp. And when the predators don't keep them in check, those urchins clear the whole ocean floor, and we lose the kelp forest, we lose the fish, and 700 species disappear from our coast. But really specifically, our work focuses on the red sea urchin fishery, which is one of the top 5 fisheries in the state of California. And when we have urchin barrens, we may have a lot of urchins, but they don't have a lot of food. So those urchins are in very poor shape and have no value to the fishery. So when we restore the kelp forest, we reduce the number of urchins, the kelp comes back, the kelp feeds those remaining urchins, and then those urchins become valuable to the fishery. So we're working with the fishermen as well as local nonprofit organizations to actually put the kelp forest back out there and understand the benefits not just to the ecosystem, but to the fishery.
So what is it that brings your organization off of our peninsula here in Palos Verdes?
Oh, well, Palos Verdes is a wonderful place, and I know that most of your viewers understand that. But off of the coast here, we're looking at this rocky prominence that is the peninsula. Those rocks extend underneath the ocean, and they provide the basis for the kelp forest to grow. And it is one of what we know about kelp forests, specifically giant kelp forests here in Southern California, is they're one of the most productive, diverse ecosystems that science has ever studied. And all of that production and value can come out into fisheries benefits, as well as all the folks that enjoy spearfishing and recreating around here as well.
What about this behind you? Is this a proper model of what a kelp forest would look like? Is this inaccurate? And what do you see about with the amount of sea urchins that are in here?
Yeah, the thing that's great about this is what a giant kelp forest would look like, returning to its full growth in the spring after an average winter, where we see these kelp plants that have 1 or 2 stipes going up, and in this case, the red urchins and the purple urchins that you see on the bottom are in those right proportion or the right density. We're looking for a square meter, 2 to 3 urchins in that square meter. What we find out here, in some places, the urchins were as high as 70 per square meter. Our average is about 40 per square meter. So we are way, way, way over the top of how many urchins we should have in the system. So we systematically go in, monitor an area, count everything that's there, look at the rocks, record all that in our data. We send in our teams. They smash those excess sea urchins with hammers. The fish eat the guts and the gonads that come out of those urchins.
Well, so they're not going to total waste. They're being reused as food, I guess, by the local fish.
Exactly. So we are feeding the fish in this process. And then the very nice part about giant kelp forests is how fast they grow. The plants themselves can grow 2 feet a day when they're mature. But we will see the kelp forest come back within 6 months to a year of us doing our work. The urchins which feed on that kelp are going from of no value to the fishery to full fishery value within 2 years. And it's an 883% return to the fishery. So it's a really dramatic change. It is as much about us doing our work and being smart as it is just the way the kelp forest functions as a natural ecosystem. And we are out there 2-3 days a week. So it's a very intensive effort to do this work. We're looking at 150 acres to restore. We've done 30 so far off the coast, and to get that 30 acres done, we've spent over 5,000 hours down there in the last year and a half. We are going to keep it clean from urchins, and once we get the work done, we really do reset the clock, and it should be good for decades after this.
Are you looking for volunteers? Do you take scuba diver volunteers or anything like that?
We do accept scuba diving volunteers, that's for sure. They need to be scientifically trained. It's a fairly high level of training that we require, but all that information can be found on our website.
The Palos Verdes Peninsula Chamber of Commerce sponsored a community breakfast at the Palos Verdes Golf Club, which featured a lecture from Congressman Ted Lieu. This gave our community a unique opportunity to hear the congressman share his first impressions of the Washington political scene. Here's more from the event.
We are so honored to be hosting Congressman Ted Lieu, who is our representative in Congress from the 33rd Congressional District.
And it's a great opportunity for people to come and hear him talk as well.
Absolutely, absolutely, because whether it's from retaining jobs here in the South Bay, immigration, national security issues, the environment, education, very important issues, healthcare that are being decided in Washington, D.C. that impact our lives of our residents and our businesses.
Well, I think it's really important, especially because this peninsula, I think as all of us have seen, more and more has become a regional attraction, a regional place to be, and so I think and being engaged with the congressperson is the only way to go. We can't just deal with our issues locally. They're large regional issues. I think the congressman more and more will be engaged and involved in what goes on here in the peninsula, both environmentally, economically, and otherwise. And so I think it's great that everyone's here.
Well, I think the congressman has such an important job to do, and I want to find out straight from the horse's mouth exactly what it is that he is doing.
I'm honored to be here in Palos Verdes. I love the community. I'm very proud represented in Washington, D.C. And I'll be talking today about the economy, how we can continue growing our economy, because I believe that's critical for our region.
And we had a chance to talk to some of the residents that are here to hear you speak. They're very involved here in this community.
Yes, it's a fabulous community. It's a fabulous district. The voters are very engaged, and it's wonderful to be able to engage with the constituents and hear what's on people's minds.
And when we come back, the PV Arts Center brings us fashion and food. You'll find out more after the break.
Cinderella found the pet that fits her perfectly. Tiana gave her pet the royal treatment. Belle found beauty where no one else did. And you can too. Share your heart. Share your love. Bring home your forever friend. Make a shelter pet part of your world. Happily Ever After begins at theshelterpetproject.org.
There's a new and unique restaurant that you may not know about, mainly because it's located inside of the PV Arts Center. With an ever-changing menu, Stripe Cafe features seasonal ingredients to bring you fresh, healthy, and delicious menu items. Here's more.
Brett, what's your position here at the restaurant?
I'm the cafe manager and executive chef at Stripe Cafe.
And how long has Stripe Cafe been here?
We've been here since November 3rd of last year.
Where did this all start from?
Well, Joe Baker wanted to really make some more of a community, and he thought one of the best ways is to bring food in, because food really brings anyone and everyone together.
And there's a lot of great things that we've heard from customers about your restaurant. What do you think makes you stand out from, really any of the other restaurants here on the peninsula?
Not that we're any better or any worse. We just believe in bringing the freshest, best ingredients and making as much as we can on premises, just trying to keep all the good food and keep it seasonal. And that's sort of our philosophy on food here.
And where do you come from? What's your background here in being an executive chef?
Well, I grew up in Long Beach, California. I started cooking my junior year of high school. That sort of took me to Denver, Colorado. I studied culinary arts at Johnson Wales. After that, I kept going to school for my Bachelor's of Science in Nutrition. And after that, my feet sort of took me all over the world, Italy, Croatia, South America, just to cook and work and travel and see different things.
Wow, that's great. So you're bringing a world taste to PV.
Yeah. Well, I mean, LA is one of the most international cities in the world. You're going to see people from all over, so I think it fits really well to try and bring different flavors and influences here together.
Well, today I have the open-face vegetable tartine sandwich, and it's really, really great.
And how many times have you come here before, roughly?
Oh, since it opened, I've probably been here about a dozen times at least, both for his lunches, and then my husband and I came for his pop-up dinners. We also enjoyed the baked goods in the mornings.
And what do you like about the restaurant? What brings you back?
Well, I think that Brett is an extremely, innovative young chef, but more than that, you just look at it. At first, when I first walked in here, I thought it was only a coffee bar and something to help out the Arts Center. But this is a real asset to the Arts Center, the fact that it's done by a famous artist here for Stripes Cafe. It's a great concept, fantastic food, and a great price point.
Today I'm having the grilled cheese and jam sandwich, and I got bacon added to it, and I have a side of the house-made fry and a side of house-made chips. Very good.
And what do you think about your food so far?
I think it's very good. I really like how he used a pear to make a good contrast with the overall saltiness of the bacon and the cheese and sourdough.
And have you had some other favorites that you have here at the restaurant?
Personally, I really like the hamburger here. It was probably the first one I've had. So it was the first one I had, so it kind of holds a special place in my heart.
And would you suggest other kids your age come and try the place out?
Yeah, they have a kids menu. It's relatively simple, and also if you're just like a bit older, I think they also have a good menu if you don't really want that kid stuff.
Tell me about what food you just had.
Okay, I had the turkey sandwich. It was unlike any turkey sandwich I've ever had, on a wonderful wheat bread with garbanzo bean marinated salad. For dessert, we had the lavender-infused cake, which is just fabulous.
How many times have you come here so far?
This is only my second time, but I'm going to be back a lot more. We needed something like this on the hill.
Well, as you can see, folks, I absolutely enjoyed all of my food. I ate it all up. I had the delicious sandwich and tortilla soup with the fresh-made tortillas and the Nutella coffee. Absolutely delicious. I would recommend you come down here and then take a stroll through the PV Arts Center. Back to you, Maria.
Stripe Cafe is open for lunch Monday through Saturday. And the PV Arts Center gave some local fashion students the thrill of their young careers as they had an opportunity to see their designs walking down the runway. Here's more with Mark J. Dottie.
Well, we're back here at the PV Arts Center at the Introduction to Fashion Design class. It's a really great class, and their graduation is a fashion show, which we're going to check out in just a minute. But first, we're going to talk to the instructor.
This is my third summer at Palos Verdes at the Art Center, and third summer.
Do you feel like you've got a growing interest in the class? Has it had a good momentum?
Yeah, it's growing, slowly but surely, and we're having students coming back to watch the work of the students from past years coming back to watch the work of the new students.
What keeps you coming back?
I just love it here. It's so pretty. Everybody is very friendly, and the students are excited to be here and happy to learn and make clothes, and it's a really fun experience for me. I really like it.
So walk me through what they learn in the class, kind of some of the structure, and then how the class ends.
Sure. So it's a 2-week workshop. The first week is mostly about designing. So the students work on various projects. They design their collection. They design clothes. We talk about fashion history. We watch fashion documentaries. And the second week is definitely more about making clothes. So I have a construction mentor joining me the second week. And together we work with the students, and then they sew their own garments and they get ready for the fashion show. That's the conclusion of this 2-week workshop.
I used to just sketch and doodle in a notebook. So then I just came here to see how you actually make the clothes.
And what do you think so far? What are your impressions?
I really like this class. It's fun, and it's actually, you learn a lot because we learn about fashion history and different influences. Like for this one, it was like a 1970s inspired punk project.
Yeah, I see the Dead Kennedys and Dream Theater, Nirvana, and some rock and roll stuff on the wall there, Metallica.
Yeah. So it's basically like something that is inspired by back then, but people today would still wear.
And this is all pre-design, where you're actually sewing and putting the garments together. Now you've actually put a garment together that we have here. What is this?
It's just like a black lace skirt. I liked it because it was really open and interesting. I was originally going to put like a different piece, bright green under it to make it pop, but my teacher suggested I should make two pieces, and I found it better looking when it was just the lace.
My mom is really interested in fashion, so I get a lot of inspiration from her, and we always like to go shopping together. And on Instagram, I'm always following like the different brands and designers, so it's really exciting to see those pictures during the fashion weeks. So that kind of what inspires me to design and stuff like, yeah.
Well, so let's touch on some of your designs here. So this is your first part of the class, right? You picked out some items. Or can you describe what you have behind you?
So this was inspired by the 70s decade, and I did more of a boyish look and like into the motorcycle, and also inspired by Patti Smith. So there's a picture of Patti, and then I have my different designs here and the fabrics and some pictures to go along with it.
And so this has led to an actual real garment, which is behind you. Can you describe your garment for us?
Right, so I did some culotte shorts, so they're like really big full shorts, kind of like a skirt, and I matched it. I'm gonna make a top with this material so that it's like a sort of a crop top on top, similar to my drawing.
It's been going great. I'm loving this class. You learn so much in this class. The first week you learn a lot about how to draw on the fashion history of all the stages of fashion to the 1800s to current, and then like future, we kind of like talk about like what's going to happen next year, what's going to happen.
You have a very interesting fabric there and a cool color choice. Yeah. Feels kind of Hawaiian. Where did you find that fabric?
I found it on the table over there, and I wanted to go for the kind of look of, well, my style is more dark and black, but I wanted to mix a bright color and a cool texture of fabric with a more dark top. So color on the bottom and then darker on the top.
So your outfit will have a black top, and then this is the skirt, is that right?
Yeah, and I'm trying to go for like the high-waisted, more, I don't know, old-fashioned look, if you will. But yeah, just something like that. Not anything like my usual style. So
the fashionistas here at the PV Art Center worked on a new look for me. What do you think back there at the studio?
There are so many beautiful parks in our community, and we have sent John Clayton to check them all out. Today we visit Ryan Park.
One of the many joys of living in this wonderful place called Rancho Palos Verdes is the number of parks that we have. We have big parks, little parks, and some parks in between. And today we're in a really, really big park, and we're talking with Nancy Silva, Recreation Park Supervisor. So Nancy, tell us a little bit about this park.
So Ryan Park actually was a LA County park. It was built in 1969, and the city was not even incorporated then. And then around about 1995, the park was dedicated and named after a former mayor, councilman, Robert Ryan. So we have a baseball diamond, and look at the view from that baseball diamond. Pretty spectacular. We don't have any official soccer field, but we do have a big grass area. We do have some kids sports that do make use of that area too, which is great.
I think one of the things about these parks is parking, and I know that there used to be, and I guess there still is, a handicap parking area here.
Yes, there is handicap parking, and recently the city did a really nice renovation, really, of an improvement project. They have connected now the upper parking lot to that lower handicap area, and so if you're handicapped, you can just drive in right at the top, come on down to the bottom and find parking there, and then you can kind of shoot out the bottom back onto Hawthorne.
I think one of the, again, many wonderful things about this park is, as our viewers can see, we're sitting, I don't know whether this is a boat or a ship or just a huge playground area, but there's a lot of really neat things for kids to climb on, go through, and all that other good stuff.
We've actually got 2 ships, so it's a great place if you want to have a kids like pirate party or something like that. Bring them on down.
I see this as such a big place, and I guess this is also a wonderful place for picnics and all on Saturdays and Sundays.
Yes, this park is heavily used for outside picnic groups, local families, what have you. The place has been here since 1969, and you can see a lot of very nice mature trees, and the picnic area is kind of tucked in over there. So it's a wonderful place, and of course the view is spectacular.
When we arrived here, we saw some kids playing. They were trying to shoot hoops, practicing for the Lakers, I guess, so kids can come down here and do that.
Yes, this is the only basketball court really on this side of the hill in the city of Rancho Palos Verdes.
Well, as I just said, this is a wonderful, fabulous place, and if you come down here yourself, you'll see it for yourself. Come on down and enjoy Ryan Park.
You don't need to be bigger than life to be a good dad. You just need to spend time with your kids. It takes a man to be a dad.
And finally, August 21st is National Seniors Day. Across the country, events and activities are held to recognize seniors who have made a significant contribution to their community. And in an effort to recognize seniors in our community, we challenge you to nominate a senior we can interview for National Seniors Day. Please send us an email at rpvtv@rpv.com and tell us about a senior. We'll show their interview on an upcoming episode of Peninsula Beat. And that will do it for us. From everyone here at RPV TV, make it a great day.